First of all, when it comes to we use tokenization and different estimates to predict quickly that there could be as many as 24 trillion tokenized goods. Dollars by 2027. Even in this decade, BCG says that the tokenization of assets that can't be sold quickly could hit 16 billion to 68 trillion by the year 2030. A total, it is predicted that tokenized market will account for 10% of the world's GDP by 2030 if the GDP of the whole world is $107 trillion, or $100 trillion plus 10%, there are about 10 of those. $1 trillion in money that flows between countries. Flow rates were about $156 trillion in 2022, and this number is likely to go up. By 2027, hitting $250 trillion. When most of us think of tokenization, think of the most valuable thing in the world. Classes, but when it comes to the BCGS, estimates between 16 trillion and 68 trillion in world illiquid assets. This could be a sign that your things, some of which are brand new. Different kinds of property and even industries being sold for money and given a value as well as how liquid those markets are. Because of this, I'm hopeful about the what's next for tokenization. Foreign assets that are hard to sell in new markets because they have never not been able to put a price on these assets and trade them in for cash. Between many different players, for example, copyright or the right to use someone else's work. Trademarks are big businesses, even just in the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is worth more than $30 billion, with 30% of GDP comes from intellectual property. Percent of that amount, which is about $10 trillion because of several things. Fortune 500 businesses like Porsche have sizable IP portfolios. When strange things happen, like with Porsche, the value of the intellectual property exceeds the current market value of the company, and it goes much further than intellectual. We might talk about the tokenization of real estate and its value as a whole shown on the chain, as well as different financing items like this and so. We might also get to see some of the world's the most important types of assets. The stock market is more than $100 billion, while the global bond more than $100 trillion is in the market. $300 trillion in trade and homes everywhere in the world market for swaps, which is extremely intangible and includes futures options, deals, and other kinds of goods. If it's worth $1.2 quadrillion, there's the world market for commodities, which is worth $23 quadrillion. Metals, oil, animals, grain, and rice fertilizer, etc. And as of right now, the whole value of the crypto market is very small. Fraction of that number equals about $1 trillion. So from 2013 to at the moment, this is the whole crypto market cap every week. We jumped up from 800 million to 16 billion, sitting in this channel that's getting bigger, as that 2013 peak was another long term. The market went down until the next bull market. In 2018, run reached a high of about 845 seconds, or keeping a dollar for 5 days, and the difference in prices between different FX rates and the idea of 3 cryptos. False. Some of the most networks that work well in this area include the graph of the XRP ledger. The blockchain myth includes even computers. The fourth thing is that crypto solutions are hard to set up and hard to understand. We now have a site. We are working on a Web3 stack and have a Web2 stack. But we're trying to figure out how the Web3 stack can work with other systems that can easily fit into Web2. We cannot just make amazing technologies, not having a bridge. Casper was interviewed not too long ago. CTO on the DFI feed on YouTube, and it was just wonderful. I think you should go see it. I think you'll be very impressed after you see it. Surprised and pleased with Casper Networks, with its modular form, tech stack. Interaction with the Web2 stack is easy. There are a lot of great projects out there. But they aren't building the bridges or building kits, maybe businesses that do not want to join them. To do more work, the most popular and most widely used. Initiatives taken by a company aren't those that work with the enterprise to come up with. In Myth 5, it is as smooth as possible. Around the world, crypto regulations are not clear. As a result, many countries currently know a little bit about them. Without a doubt, the United States is one of the worst performers in the business we have. The Casper network has some exciting news. The Casper payment gateway is used by users. Now that it's out there, it's easier to accept. Casper for your business funds, so consistency is very important. Mitch and Adrian also brought up that 440 more stores are now taking credit cards. Each bar in the parabola right here. More than 3 million e-bar were sent to Medico. Don't forget that Ripple owns all. So far, this security guard is so interesting that I'm wondering if this has something to do with ArchX and the tokenization of Aberdeen's fund sitting on Hatira's council. We know that Medico is a big business with many partners, and they're getting in touch with a lot of for crypto services at banks. The most important thing for crypto growth was also by Santana, so we took note. Kusama's Polkadot in GitHub as a whole code changes I'm excited about. Seeing that area cleaned up, we Cardano's and Teheterolink have been. Adam works as an ICP for Disneyland and Ethereum. Should remember that Casper Labs is part of the Linux Foundation. Base, as well as some of the biggest companies in the world, such as Cisco, is in the middle of Microsoft and Oracle, which is not one of Citrix, Google, Panasonic, or Toshiba. We'll talk about that in a minute. Future movie with how they are related to, along with Sony, Dell, and Uber. IPOI is a Casper partner. Toyota, Alibaba, Accenture, and Mini Capital. One and Casper Labs are two of the companies that were represented in the future CISA. Hong Kong will also be shared. So, Wu blockchain rating service in Hong Kong. The KVA put its virtual product on the market. Index, they have stable Bitcoin ETH. RAF tokens, coins, and Bitcoin Cash. Filecoin, Litecoin, BNB, Madoc, ADA Atom. ICP XRP Doge is in the area of Algorand. I like polka dots, so I'm happy to see XRP. HeatBar, AlgoKey, and T, along with a few other. Remember that Alger is on this list. Recently got a deal for $10,000. This update included a 3.3 stop time with a Bang Matt, who runs Casper Network as its CEO, has came to let us know that they are going to the meeting for actuaries in. This is something Casper. No one who has worked has told us. Anyone who works in business knows that contracts are what hold everything together. As building blocks of the banking system, Casper uses the Actis as an example. Standard as the main computer for tokens or the smart financial contracts. That's important because Actis is one of the three most important data standards, along with FIX and ISO. Last but not least is giving trust capital, as there will be about 45 million people by 2023. There are 420 million crypto users in the US. There are two types of global crypto users, still under a billion. And even though it's fun to compare the number of people who use crypto to the users, we have to keep in mind that even with this many crypto users are not using it on a large scale that makes sense. The vast majority of people are. The short version is that mom and dad are buying a domain and keeping a small amount on Coinbase. So, the point I want to stress is that we haven't seen anything good come out of it. These apps or programs for day are working. Scale, so if there were 400 million people, I would like to see 400 million active people taking part in crypto instead of just bought $30 worth of Doge on Coinbase and put it away for a few years. So you should check it out. Capital. This is linked to the most a comment that was stuck to the YouTube video's description. Using that link, you can sign up for. You'll get a free account and a $100 finance bonus. So I have been using this tool for I've had a Roth IRA for the past 3 years. IRA, so I don't have to pay taxes on cash gains, so I hope you enjoyed. Today's movie is a lot of love, and I'll see you next time. I'd love it if you could hit me in the next one. Click on the like button if you liked this video. Please let us know what you think in the Which Are the Comments part, and my link tree has all the links to information about cryptography.